Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark Randall with Golden Care USA. I want to welcome everybody to today's training on the Advantage Plus program. The Advantage Plus program actually has a lot of uses out there. This is an A2 product that we have from GTL, and it's a hospital indemnity program as its basic form. But this plan was really designed by an agent out in Maryland, and when he designed this plan to go out there and wrap around people who have Medicare Advantage plans out there. So this is a plan, and that's why it's called the Advantage Plus plan, is because that's its basic product design out there, and that's where its strength is. So today I'm going to take you through and just talk about this. If you're not familiar with Medicare Advantage plans are a recent alternative to Medicare. And what it does is it offers a lower premium than a Medicare supplement does. You know, if you were on my call this morning, we were talking about the critical care plan, which is another plan that you can do this. You're going to see that this follows a lot of along the same format. Because what happened was people out there had Medicare supplements, and they were paying a lot of money for these. And all of a sudden, the government opened up what was called Medicare Plus Choice. And that opened the door to Advantage plans out there. And basically what Advantage plans are is people say, instead of having Medicare administer my health care, I'm going to sign the administration rights over to a private insurance company. And this private insurance company is going to come out with a plan. And the plan is a lot more attractive than a Medicare supplement, so they can save a lot of dollars per month. And then in exchange for that lower premium, the company will put copays and deductibles into the plan. And then they'll put a maximum out-of-pocket on it that can range anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000, or you might see plans that go even up a little bit more than that. So the key to Advantage plans is that they're very attractive to seniors out there, and they come in all shapes or forms out there. If you look at a typical Advantage plan versus a Medicare supplement, here's what you're looking at. If I walk out to a client who still has original Medicare, he lives in Minnesota here, so I'm using Minnesota companies here, but realize this varies from state to state. In Minnesota, the company that sells the best Plan F in Minnesota is Blue Cross Blue Shield, and their plan is $235 a month. Now on top of that, the client has to buy a drug plan. That runs $35 a month. And so their total monthly cost is $270 a month. Now, if an agent walks into them with an Advantage plan, the top Advantage plan in Minnesota right now is Humana. And Humana offers an Advantage plan for $49 a month, and that comes with the same drug plan that you were seeing over the other side at $35. So basically, the senior goes from a $270 a month premium out of pocket to $49 a month. Now, the copays inside of Humana's plan is if they go to a doctor, it's $10. If they go to a specialist, it's $20. Ambulance is going to be $175. The main one, and the one that kind of spooks people out there, is the hospital copay. If they go in the hospital, they have to pay $200 a day for up to 7 days. Now, just between you and I, the statistics tell us that the average senior is going to go into the hospital about once every 2 to 3 years out there. Okay? So the bottom line is that's not a big copay for a senior. If they know on average I'm going to go in there once every 3 years, and my average stay is going to be somewhere around 3 to 4 days. You know what? Maximum out of pocket in the plan is $4,000. Now look at the concept to the senior. If I'm an individual senior out there, I'm looking at a premium savings here of $2,652. If I'm a married couple, that's over $5,000. So my potential reward is if I don't do anything, I don't have any health care bills during the year, I can save $2,652 in that year. Plus I get the added benefits that are available under the Advantage plan. They have silver sneakers on there. They have discount plans for non-prescription drugs. And they have other benefits that are included in the plan. So really, I can come out smelling like a rose if I don't have a lot of health care in that year. My potential risk is if I went out there and I had a terrible year, I might lay out $4,000 out of pocket. If I lay out that $4,000, it's going to cost me really $1,348 more out of pocket because I saved the $2,652. So if I take 4,000 minus 2,652, that's my $1,348. Well, you can see why in the state of Minnesota, almost 60% of seniors have gone with Advantage plans. And nationwide, over 40% of seniors have gone with Advantage plans. It's pretty attractive. So what we want to do when we go out there and talk to seniors that have Advantage plans is we want to play up to that. When I go into a senior and I find out they have an Advantage plan, I'm going to say, first thing, you know what? I congratulate you on going with the Advantage plan. They're a great deal, aren't they? You know what? Did you have a Medicare supplement before you switched over to the Advantage plan? Yeah. How much were you paying for the Med Sup? What I want to do, first of all, is just establish that they had a big savings when they switched over here. And you can see by this slide, they did it. Each one of them saved $2,652. So if I don't know which plan they're with, I'm going to go a step farther and say, you know, if you were familiar with Advantage plans, you kind of know that when you switched over to an Advantage plan, you had some co-insurances and you had some deductibles. And I'm going to say, which plan did you go with? If they say Humana, I know Humana's plan, so I'm going to go, you know, that with Humana's plan, that if you go into the hospital, you got to pay $200 a day for up to 7 days. You know, if you have chemo, you might get chunked with 20% on that. Ambulatory surgical, you might see a big copay. So basically, I'm going to kind of point out the copays. Here's the deal. You don't need to worry about this if you don't know Advantage plans. When you say, are you familiar with your copays, you know, they're going to know. And they're going to kind of chuckle nervously and they're going to say, yeah, I'm in pretty good shape as long as I don't go in the hospital. And then I'll say, oh yeah, what's your hospital copay? You know, we're looking at $200 a day times 7 days on Humana's. But if you go down to Missouri, in Missouri you can buy plans that have no premium, but their hospital copay is a lot bigger. Some of those plans have $350 a day hospital copays. So the seniors that switch over, they get the immediate advantage of having no premium, but in return, they're taking on a pretty big risk there if they have it. So what if I want to, I can do this. You don't have to do any reviewing other plans or anything. If you're not real familiar with Advantage plans, just ask them what their copays is. They'll tell you. If you're pretty familiar with them, I'd tell them, you know what, do you have your current plan? Why don't you drag it up? And I want to show you a couple things. And I'll show it to them, you know. But that's totally up to you. That's why I put on this slide that this is an optional thing to do when you're out there. All I really want to do is I want to establish the fact that they had a big savings when they went to the Advantage plan. And then I want to establish the fact they got a big hospital copay there. Because then I'm going to shoot them a plan. I'm going to tell them, you know what? It's nice to save premiums with an Advantage plan out there. In normal years, your copay shouldn't even come close to the savings that you're getting out there. You know, about the only thing that could hurt you is all of a sudden if you had a situation that created a lot of medical usage during the year. That's when all of a sudden you could see those savings disappear, and all of a sudden you're facing that $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 out of pocket. Well, today we have a plan that can hedge your bet. And I'm going to open up my software for Advantage Plus, and I'm going to show them a plan. Here's how easy this is to sell. I mean, I've talked to agents out there that I got to tell you, they have walked into houses with seniors that have Advantage plans, and they're closing like 80% of them. Because take a look at this. I got a 7-year-old senior. Now, the cool part about this, like I told you, the Advantage Plus, the basic guts of it is it's a hospital confinement benefit. So I can put a hospital confinement benefit of any amount I want here, up to $400 a day, and I can give them either 10-day coverage or 20-day coverage. Well, in this plan, you can see I'm quoting a bare bones plan. $200 a day, which will cover their copay. I'm giving them 10 days of coverage, so actually they'd have 3 extra days if they stayed in there for that long. Chances are they're not going to anyway. So the chances are you're going to see a 3, 4, 5 day stay. But look at the premium, $354 a year. Now I got a coupler that's, or a person here that's saving $2,600 a year when moving to an Advantage plan. And their big concern is, what if I have a year that I go into the hospital 4 or 5 times, and each time it's for 3, 4 days? All of a sudden I'm ramping up a big bill. Well, now for a low premium of $354, I can hedge your bet. I'll tell you what, this is what makes Advantage Plus such a simple sale. If you look at other alternatives out there for covering hospital indemnity, they're nowhere near as reasonably priced as this plan is. But now I can go ahead and I can do other things with this. Let's say I run into an Advantage plan that instead of saying $200 a day for 7 days, it says it's $1,200 for the first day. Okay? All I have to do is go to this drop down and dump it down to $1,000. And then I've got $1,200 for the first day, and they'll have 9 more days of coverage at $200 a day that they can take the money and do whatever they want to with it. If they need an ambulance service benefit, is real high priced on their Advantage plan, I can add the ambulance service benefit here. I can put it on an outpatient surgical rider, skilled nursing. But you know, a lot of agents, what they do is they say, you know what, as you can see, this is a very low price plan. We're not using hardly any of your savings to buy this plan. But let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody that's had cancer? You know, you're going to be hard pressed today to find a person who doesn't know somebody that's had cancer out there, okay? Almost everybody does. Well, you know what? I can add a $5,000 cancer benefit to this plan. So now they got the $200 a day for 10 days, plus they got the $5,000 cancer benefit, and look at that. My premium's only $521 a year. They're still got a net savings of over $2,000 a year. And well, I'll tell you what, this is an attractive thing to put onto an Advantage Plus program. Another thing that's real attractive is the accidental death and dismemberment. If I go with that basic plan I showed you and I add a $5,000 accidental death, I only bump that premium up to $360. You know, this is the key to the Advantage Plus, is don't make this sale difficult. The bottom line is most agents, this is what they're going to sell out there as a policy. You're looking at a premium of $521 a year, and all you got to do is find people that have an Advantage plan out there and show them this plan. Now, before I let you go, let me tell you another secret. If I'm going to be talking to seniors out there to see who I can find that I can sell this to, basically what I'm going to do is every time I'm talking to a senior, I'm going to say, by the way, do you by any chance have a Medicare Advantage plan? If they say yes, I'm going to go right into my pitch on this, okay? And I'm going to talk about, you know, geez, when you went to the Advantage plan, how much money did you save? And I'm going to go right into hedging the bet. But if I run into somebody that doesn't have an Advantage plan, and they're still sitting on a Medicare supplement, so when I ask them, do you have an Advantage plan? They say, no, I still have a Medicare supplement. I'm going to say, really? Have you ever looked at an Advantage plan? And almost every time they're going to turn around and come back and go, yeah, we looked at them. I'm going to say, why didn't you go with it? And they're going to say, you know what? We went to a seminar or we were talking to a group of people, but you know, today I'm amazed at how many people have already gone to a seminar. They've already looked at Advantage plans. And then they're going to come back and say, but you know what? While we were sitting in that meeting, a guy got up and said that he had bought an Advantage plan, and then he went out and got cancer, and he ended up paying $6,000 out of pocket. And you know what? As soon as you hear that, you got your opening. Because he can say, you know, the problem with that is that a lot of times when people end up having to pay the out-of-pocket, it's because they end up with a bunch of hospital bills out there, or they run into other costs that are associated with cancer. So today we've got a way to hedge that. And I'm going to open up my software and I'm going to show them this plan right here. And I'm going to say, you know what? To a lot of seniors, what they do is go, you know, if I had a plan like this, then I could afford to gamble and go with that Advantage plan. Because, you know, I could save about $2,500 a year by going to that. And I said, well, think about it. If you save $2,500 a year and you spent $500 on this plan, you'd still have $2,000 to put in your pocket in a normal year, right? You know what? Here's what I'd recommend. Let's find out if we can get this coverage. Let's go ahead and fill out an app. We'll send it in, and we'll get the policy issued. Now, open enrollment doesn't open up till October again. So if we get this policy issued and it's in place, then when October comes around, guess what? You know you got your bet hedged. Now you can go out and you can look for Advantage plans and pick a plan that you want that'll give you the savings you want, that you know this plan will help hedge your bet. And you know what? You'd be amazed at how many seniors go, that makes sense. Now, if you sell Advantage plans, you've got the added advantage of saying, you know what, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you sign the scope of appointment form here, and I'll come back out here and I'll talk to you come October. Or you can tell them I'll give you a call and set up an appointment, or however you want to do it. Make sure you keep legal, because CMS has some stiff guidelines out there when you're selling Medicare Advantage plans. But you don't have to worry about those guidelines when you're selling the Advantage Plus plan. You know what? Agents have sold thousands of these plans. I know one agent that has sold himself 1,400 of these plans, just going out there and talking to people that have Advantage plans out there and showing them. And he says, I'll tell you what, Mark, the sale's about a 15-minute sale, because the application's only, I think it's 2.5 pages. I mean, you got just basically get the information, answer a couple of knockout questions, and you got a policy that's going to get issued. So I want to tell you, this is by far the easiest insurance policy that you're ever going to sell in your life. This is far easier to sell than Final Expense out there, because the seniors out there, they know what's going on. And they know the risks when they got into the Advantage plan. And for them to be able to hedge their bet with a simple plan like this makes it incredibly, incredibly easy out there. So I'll tell you what, that's basically the whole story on how to sell the Advantage Plus program. I didn't mute anybody, so at this point in time, I'll open it up. Does anybody have any questions about this plan? Yeah, it's funny, I typically don't get many questions, because most agents, once they see it, they realize, wow, that is incredibly easy to sell. So I want to thank each and every one of you for jumping on today and joining us.
I have a question.
Shoot.
So the screen I'm looking at the top, it says age last birthday 70, and then next to it says must be at least 64 and a half. And I thought you can sell this at a younger age. It doesn't. You don't have to actually be a senior.
Yes, that's true, and it depends upon which state you live in. I actually have this set in Minnesota, where in Minnesota you do have to be at least 64 and a half to buy it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for bringing that question up. I appreciate it. Any other questions? Then thank you, everybody. This is Mark Randall wishing you a great day and a great 2014. Thanks for attending today. Bye-bye.